This might be very controversial. It might even get me some hate from the self-improvement community, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. You need to be more degenerate. My name is Blake, and if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram, linked in the description below. Also, if you're interested in getting an absolutely insane physique, I do offer coaching, which you can book a free call with me, also linked below. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So let me explain. Before you get on to me, before you go in the comments, you're already hating, let me go ahead and explain to you what I'm talking about. Because I already know you're thinking to yourself,
But everybody told me I need to focus on my business and grow money and money.
but I'm here to tell you that it's a little bit different than that, and that's actually not the case. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, man. You are a self-improvement nerd. That's why you're watching a video like this. You know, I've been in that same situation before, and it's just not a good look. You're not getting the most out of all the other self-improvement tasks that you could be, because you're just, in a weird way, you're only focusing on those tasks, right? Because what I'm about to teach you today in this video is going to make all the other self-improvement habits that you do a lot more effective, and you're going to feel a lot better to be working on your business. What I'm going to teach you today is going to make you a lot more effective with the rest of your self-improvement. Your training is going to feel better. You're going to do better with your business and stuff like that. So basically, the reason that you're a self-improvement nerd is because you haven't experienced any parts of life yet. Like, you need to go out there and actually experience your life, because if you don't, you're going to get a really bad case of FOMO. Because I know I did that for a long time. When I first got into self-improvement, the only things I would do is go to the gym, go to work, and then work on like self-improvement tasks, like read books and shit like that. And I started getting this bad case of FOMO because I saw some of my old friends and stuff like that. They were going out, they were talking to girls, they were doing all this fun stuff, and it might have been degenerate. It might not help them in the long run, but it seemed like they were having a lot more fun than me. And that really developed this like feeling like I was missing out, like there was something that they were doing that I wasn't, that somehow they were more successful than me in life, and kind of started to get into me. Like I said, it built up this really bad case of FOMO to where now I couldn't even really focus on what I was doing in terms of self-improvement. My training was distracted, my business was distracted, everything was just, I wasn't giving 100% anymore because my head was somewhere else. I was too worried about what everybody else was doing that I wasn't. And the reason I think you should do some of this degenerate stuff is because you kind of need to realize that it's not as fun as everybody makes it out to believe when you actually go and do this stuff. Sure, like when you go out with your friends, you might guys drink a little bit, go to the club, dance with some degenerate women and stuff like that, and you might think it's really fun. But towards the end of the night, when you start sobering up a little bit, and like when you've been doing self-improvement, once you start sobering up a little bit, you kind of realize to yourself, like, yeah, this was sort of fun, I guess, but it wasn't what everybody else made it out to be. And personally, whenever that happens to me, and towards the end of the night, I start feeling like, well, man, I can't wait to just like get back to what I was normally doing, get back on the normal routine, because this just isn't for me. This isn't like something I want to do all the time, because honestly, it's really for losers. It's the losers that do that stuff all the time. Really, like, they're not really going to go anywhere with their life. And we don't want that to happen to you, but we need you to become more degenerate because you haven't done that stuff before. You need to have that moment for yourself, because it's easier for me to tell you that. It's easier for all these self-improvement YouTubers to tell you, like, oh, don't do this degenerate stuff. Like, it's bad for you, and you're not going to like it, and you're going to ruin your life. But the truth be told is that you're not really going to understand what we're talking about until you try it out for yourself. And that's why I think you need to get your friends together. You guys need to, well, no, I'm not going to condone this, but maybe you guys need to like drink a little bit, go to the club, and do something degenerate to realize that it's not actually as fun as everybody makes it out to believe. Another reason we want to be more degenerate is so we can build up things like our social skills, because I mean, they call it social lubrication for a reason. When you're a little inebriated off the drink a little bit, it is easier to talk to people like that, and you're not going to have the most intellectual conversations. You're not going to be having philosophical discussions with most of these people, but it is easier to talk to people, I suppose. As I'm talking about building up social skills, I want to go ahead and say that you do not have to be overly degenerate. You don't have to be like really degenerate. You do not have to go to the club and stuff like that to do what I'm talking about, to accomplish what I'm talking about in terms of being more degenerate. I'm just talking about stepping away from your business for a while or your training and stuff, and realizing that it's okay. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world if this one day that you do this. And there are different ways you can be more degenerate without really having a negative effect on your life. Like, be more of an adventurer, right? So earlier this year, around in the summertime, me and my friends, we took a trip to Puerto Rico, and it was honestly one of the best times I had in my life. It was pretty much the best vacation I've ever had in my life. It was absolutely insane experience. We were just out of our element, and you know what? Guess what? I wasn't really on any of the self-improvement habits that I normally would be. I wasn't on the same routine. There are a couple things I did, you know, I did I did bring my jump rope and stuff, and I did read a little bit down there, but really I just enjoyed myself. Like we just had fun every single day. It was an amazing time, and it made me realize that it was okay. Like if anything, it added to my self-improvement, because now I have this crazy experience that is a story that I can tell you guys and tell you about, so you can eventually have those experiences with yourself. So maybe you can get your buddies and stuff like that, and you guys can go on a trip on your own and experience a whole different place that's, you know, not exactly home, where you're not really doing all these self-improvement habits, and you're just kind of letting loose and letting go. Because once you come back to it, you're more focused, because that itch, that feeling that you get inside where you feel like you need to do something fun, you know what I'm saying? You kind of scratch that itch, and yeah, you should use discipline and stuff and kind of brush it off for a while, but eventually the itch is going to get really strong. You're becoming distracted from your own work. So it's all about the timing and keeping it in moderation, because like I said, we're not going into Puerto Rico every day. We're not. When I was down there, I knew I wasn't going to be drinking every day when I came back and stuff like that. It was kept to a minimum. It was like everything was in moderation. And like I said, the timing of it is really important too, because like I said, you're not doing this all the time. Usually these moments of degeneracy are going to come after longer moments of hard work and discipline. So like I was saying, you could be adventurous and take a trip with your friends. You can take a girl on a date, because like when you're taking a girl on a date, you're not always going to do something like, you guys aren't always going to go somewhere like the gym, where you're not going to be able to eat perfectly to your diet. You know what I'm saying? You might have a little cheat meal and stuff like that, and that's okay. That's the point that I want to get across to you, is that keeping this stuff in moderation and keeping the timing of it to a minimum is okay. So when I say be degenerate, what I'm really talking about is getting away from some of the self-improvement habits to do something that's still beneficial to your life, but not necessarily going to get you to those bigger goals, right? It's something to keep your mind off of, because honestly, it talks about this in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, I believe, but whenever you're too focused on a problem or a task that you got to get done and trying to figure out the solution, your brain can't really do it. So whenever you take a step back away from it, that's when you kind of relax, and your subconscious mind comes up with the solution for you, just like that. Right. So when I was in Puerto Rico, I was getting all these ideas for videos and stuff that I could be doing. So really, this will be good for you in terms of coming up for ideas for your business as well. The only thing is, just don't fall down that rabbit hole and think that you can be doing this stuff all the time, or that you can keep getting away with it. Because like I said, it's really just going to come after long periods of hard work. You just need to be more degenerate. Try it out and see how it goes for you, because I honestly think it'll help your work. As long as you keep it in check, keep the timing right, keep it in moderation, I think everything will go good for you, and I think it will increase your performance across the board. So remember, be a little bit more degenerate, not a lot, be a little bit more degenerate than you are right now. Don't be a self-improvement nerd. And most importantly, remember, be better than you were yesterday.